Okay, then we're going back in time quite a bit for this next machine, all the way to 1994, because this is the old Maygay machine, Super Pots, running in the DX layout by Altered Emu. And this layout was released a long time ago. We're probably going back to 2002, 2003, something like that. Now, despite what you can see here, this layout is not actually running the £10 all cash jackpot ROMs. In fact, you can see there from the cash pot that the cash pot's maxed out at £8. Now, when this layout was originally released, I believe the £10 cash jackpot ROMs were the only ones that were available, so they were the ones included with the layout. Then a little while later, I think a year or so later, in 2003 sometime, a guy turned up the early or original, I believe, the actual release £1.18 token jackpot ROMs. And the interesting thing about those ROMs was that they were the original emptyable versions that had the free wins in them. So there was some talk about this machine at Fruit Forums back in the day, and there was some discussion around the machine. And I played it a fair bit back then, and I'm trying to refresh my memory to play it in this video here. Now, the basic principle here is something that's fairly common, as I understand it, with an awful lot of Maygay machines, in that they have two distinct pots, which is the normal play pot and the streak pot. And in normal play, all wins above £5 are blocked, or at least are supposed to be blocked. And if you can get yourself a win of more than £5, it kind of comes out of the streak pot, but doesn't somehow, because the machine doesn't know it's paid it. It's effectively a free win. So if you can get any win over £5 in normal play, it's a free win. The machine doesn't know it's just given you that £6, £7, £8, and then you can carry on and just repeat that ad infinitum, effectively. So that's the basic principle here. Now, remember, this is an £8 jackpot here. So obviously, we've only got 2 wins above £5. There is no £5 win on this machine. So we're effectively going for this win here, £6, or this feature here, which is Lucky for Some. Now, Lucky for Some is a jackpot feature, and you'll see why we're kind of ignoring these other ones as I start to play it. So just bear that in mind. We're after £6 there, or Lucky for Some there. And anytime that we can achieve those wins, we are going to get them as a free win. The state of play of the machine is not going to be affected. Now, let me just go for the long-term stats on this machine. Can you see up here? I have done this. This is the layout. I'm very good at backing up my Fruit Machine emulation collection over the years. So this is the same layout that I've been running for the last 15 years. So these are the stats on this. £687 in, £974 out. It's running at just shy of 142%. So there's obviously something quite badly wrong with this. Now, I have just put a few quid through it before, so we're not actually starting from a clear set of stats here, which I would normally do. That's my mistake, but we'll not worry about that. Let's get going. So now, in essence, the idea behind this is that the machine should be at a state where it is readily offering the £4 cash win. Now, the idea is that if you can get the £4 cash win, or specifically the £4 plus here, with the right numbers, you can then guarantee yourself a gamble to either £6 or to Lucky for Some, and then take those out as a free win. Now, I must state for the record here, I don't know the reels, and I don't know like the correct holds or anything like that. So, as ever for me, this is not going to be perfect, not by a long chalk. I can't see that there's anything doing there. And it doesn't just have to be the £4 win. You can go for a lower win, and if you have the exchange lit at £4 and £6, you can then try and get a free £6 win. So we'll see if that happens here. I should be able to gamble for maybe, there we are, £4. We're never going to get to the blue sevens here. So what's that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Oh, if I get to 16, I think if I get to 16, I will actually have the blue 7. So let's have a look. But it's not just enough to get to the blue 7s, by the way. I've got to get to the blue 7s on 1, 3, 8 or 12. There's the 12, but I lost the gamble. The other thing is that if at any point the gamble would result in a win of £6 or a jackpot, it will lose. It's as simple as that. So how far is the... oh, God, it's fucking miles away. So I don't really want to superhold that, do I? Not quite sure what we can do there. That was probably a terribly bad hold there. There's nothing doing there. Will it hold? No. Now, there are proper setups on the reels and things that you're supposed to hold. I kind of almost got my eye in with them back in the day, but I've completely forgotten. I think that's just completely fucked. I'm going to kill that one off. I've forgotten them all now. So you've got to remember that I am literally coming to this after... I would say the best part of 15 years since I played this. Now this is great. There we are. Now I've got my blue 7s in range, but there's something else and it's not just enough to get the blue 7s. I have to be able to guarantee myself the gamble to £6. Now, if I am on any number other than a 1 or a 12, it will lose. It's as simple as that. Doesn't matter how happy it apparently is, it will lose. So what I have to do is gamble up and down here until I get a 1, 3, 8 or 12. Now 1 and 12 are obvious. They are no-lose gambles. 3 and 8 step to a 1 or a 12 because you do get 1 step. There we are. That's it. So I now collect that. So that brings that in. And now what I can do is use my step number to get a 12. And then all of a sudden, this goes from being £4 plus repeat chance, which comes out of like the current game pot. And then this now becomes, that £6 is now just a free unrecorded win. How exactly it works, it kind of comes out of the streak pot. And I think the idea is that if you do it like this, that the machine will never actually streak because you're kind of taking wins out of the streak pot all the time. I'm not quite sure what I was holding there. I do apologise. That was awful. Oh, no, I should have held that. And that's the idea, that is a free win. So that £6 that I've just got there is a free win. As far as the machine's concerned, it's paid nothing out. Now let's have a look how far away. Oh, God. Ah, that's a good one. So we don't need much there. Oh, now we actually want less nudges here. So 7 would do. Yeah, 8 would do. A number 8 would do. I can collect that. I mean, what I'd like to do really is get a 1 or a 12. But it's only an extra £2. There we are. Do it again. I mean, the difference between £6 here and Lucky for Some there is £2 because Lucky for Some is a jackpot feature. So that's going in the bank. Now, you have to bear in mind here that a better player than me would, I'm no doubt, do this far more efficiently than I am here. But bearing in mind that it's only me who's ever played this, and if we look at the long-term stats up there, remember those long-term stats. So even a numpty like me has managed to do fairly well at this. But there are things on the reels that you're supposed to hold and all that kind of thing to... Certainly there's a triple bar on the first reel here that's got a 3 on it. That's a good way to try and get some numbers because it's got a blue 7 close to it. And from a historical perspective, this is a machine that I never knew about at the time. This is one of those machines, and in fact I do remember losing an awful lot of money on Maygays. Back when I was playing fruit machines, all the time in the pubs back in the early 90s. Maygays were, yes, they had a nice streak in them, and if you could catch the streak, you were quids in. But beyond that, I do remember taking some awful kickings on them, and it does now fit in with what I've seen with machines like this. Hang on a minute, how far away are they? It's just, I'm not quite sure what we're supposed to do there. Because how the players would do this back in the day is they would get the machine fairly buzzed up so that it was readily offering them £4 plus wins. They would then take a succession of free wins out of it, £6 or jackpots, and then the machine would obviously get very, very happy because it didn't think it had paid anything out. And then once they'd done that, oh, you can still get a second chance, but both those swaps have to be lit. So once they've taken all their free wins, the machine's really, really happy, and they then play it down, as it were, and they take all the value that the machine has in it. So my understanding on this is that not only have they, oh, that would have been a handy one, not only have they left the machine dead in completely normal play, if my reading of this is correct, they've also completely knackered the streak pot, because all of these wins that they were taking were out of the streak pot. So that's that's the state that I would walk up to the machine with, and you'd see an £8 jackpot. You say, oh well, that's all right, that shouldn't be too bad. How far wrong can we go on an £8 jackpot? And the answer, of course, was very, very, very wrong. Oh, let's have a look at that. £1.60. Obviously, all my holds here are completely awful. But yeah, so this machine for me was one that, as with a lot of Maygays at the time, I lost an awful lot of money on Maygays. I did get lucky once in a while and would win. We'll bin that one off, there's no point. And hit the streak, because all Maygays had a solid streak. But I think when these were being done, you were going to be in a real world of pain, and that's a world that I found myself in quite a lot. Now, this isn't going to let me win here, because they were box sevens, which is... should give me that hold there. Boxed blue sevens would be £6, which is through the block. That's it, so it's not going to allow me to have that. Respin. Okay, I think we hold that one. Oh, that you just hold, will you? You bugger. How far off is it? No, they're just nowhere to be seen, are they? I mean, can we get even £2 away off? Well, we'll see if we can get a gamble up for the single bars. Take it from there. Oh, there we are. So that's £3, and now we do get a chance if both of these swaps are lit, which they're not. You need exactly the swap at £4 and £6, so it's going to let me win that, but it doesn't matter what I do now. I can change the number, I can swap over, and that's through the block, so it's going to kill me. I mean, the surprising thing about this one, I suppose, is that it's so... All right, how far off are we here? Oh, there we are. So we only need 5 nudges here. That's not too bad. There we are. Or 6 nudges, rather. And that's fine, because I've got to gamble anyway, because I need to get... There we are. Now, I still need the 1, 3, 8, or 12. That won't do it. Oh, well, yeah, okay, that'll do. I haven't had the 1 or the 12 yet, which is a slight shame. And again, all we have to do now, we can swap that number. I'll step that number to a 1. And then our £6 is a free win, like so. And I would imagine that, back in the early 90s, players were all over these things. They were doing them left, right, and centre, which does kind of fit in with my experience at the time, because I remember taking some of the most brutal kickings. You could lose, and it makes sense now. Having seen what you can do to it, it does make sense, because I remember getting some appalling, absolute maulings at the hands of these things, where, you know what I mean, far, far beyond what you would think was, this is going to lose, by the way, far, far beyond what you would think was possible on an £8 jackpot fruit machine. So I was very, very glad that fruit machine emulation kind of gave me the chance to understand what was going on. I mean, on one level, I don't know, there was a slight annoyance that, right, that's what was going on. That's why it was such carnage. But on the other hand, I was glad to have a rational explanation for what had been going on, because it then made sense. It's like, okay, this was never a level playing field. There were people in the know and people who just simply weren't in the know, and that was perhaps the delineating factor between whether or not you were going to win any money out of these things with any kind of consistency or not. So again, it's just fucking miles away. I'm probably doing this all wrong. Well, it's not giving me any kind of useful setups here that I can see. Or again, maybe I'm just completely missing them. I mean, let's just collect that and see if we get the swaps at £4 and £6 here, which we haven't, so that we may as well just kill that off. It's pointless. Because we're not interested in anything down here, I believe. So that's, yeah, now there we are. That's a good, that's that triple bar with to just hold again. There we are. Now, we only need 4 nudges, which it should gamble out to because it thinks it's safe. It's, as far as it's concerned, the normal play pot is happy, it's plump, it's you know, it's comfortably sort of at percentage or even under percentage, and it doesn't think that there's any risk here of paying out something that it doesn't want to. Now, what I can do here is get bold. Obviously, I can get £6 at this point, but I can keep gambling and hope for a 1 or a 12, which I'm going to do because I'm fairly low down. There we are. And there's I'll probably be able to get a 3 or an 8 anyway. So what we can do now is collect that. And the difference now is that I don't have to use the step. So I've got a guaranteed gamble on a 12. Now then, let me just... So what I can do now, I'm going to use my step number. So I'm going to go step, swap. Then I get another step, and bosh, that goes to a 12. I can then go lower, and now I can collect lucky for some, which is a jackpot feature. We can slow it down with this, and then just stop this on the jackpot when it goes up. There we are, simple as that. And there's jackpot. It's £8. Remember, it's not a £10 jackpot. So I just, oh God, I wish I knew about these things in the day because, you know, there were just, and it was different to how things are now. You've got to remember, you're going back to the early 90s and there were more pubs. Pubs were everywhere. You know, so many pubs have closed over the years, and it's in the UK and on the Isle of Man as well. You know, there are a lot less pubs around, and certainly back in these days, all pubs, like every single pub, would have, you know, like 2 fruit machines. And like I said, they'd be open all day, every day. There were just so many fruit machines available to be played. And so many of them were kind of doable. You know, there were methods on them. So it would have been, yes, it would have been a good time to have known everything that I know now. Now, let's have a look. Is it going to be there for 16 nudges? Possibly, actually. It's possibly going to be there for 16 nudges. Oh, was something better. Oh, hang on a minute. Yeah, you see there, I think... Was it? No, I don't think the jackpot was on. For some reason, it didn't want me to have 16 nudges there. And then the theory behind this is that... We'll collect that. Is that once you've taken out a fair... No, that's no good because we haven't got the exchanges. Once you've got a fair few free wins out of it, you can then sort of play the machine. You can see I don't know the reels. I'm not even pretending to know the reels. That was a shitty hold, I think. See, I've got blue 7s there. But yes, yeah, no, not wanting to hold there. Right. Oh, look at that. Right on. When's the next one? Miles away. Absolutely miles away. And obviously you'd need some kind of skills and abilities to get the setups right and all that sort of thing. But as I say, I never played a real one the correct way, so I've only ever experienced this in the emulator. And it was, like I say, I'm not doing it again. It was good to understand what was going on with these Maygays. It kind of gave some context to the pillaging that my pockets took back in the early 90s from these machines. There we are. It's got some potential, has it? Double up. Are you going to hold? No. Good shot. That's usually all right. But again, there's only one fucking hell. Miles off. Oh, what? Oh, that was going to be... Yeah, red 7s were probably going to be on there, weren't they? 4 and 6 aren't active, so it's not going to do that. Let's see where that goes to. But anyway, you get the idea. You can see what the basic principle is. Oh, it's just miles away again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So I'm gonna have to get it. I think I'm gonna need 10 nudges here. I think. So I've got to get to 10 nudges, which as long as there's nothing, as long as there isn't 6 quid or a jackpot, that should actually happen. But I've got to get to 10 nudges or 16 nudges on that 1, 3, 8 or 12. Let's see. Okay, I think this gamble should put the £4 in reach. And then 16, there's a risk here that this is going to be it might lose that if there's probably a £6 win or a cash pot or something, which it's not going to want to give. Now, admittedly, my stats here aren't actually very good, but you've got to remember, oh no, I shouldn't have held that. You've got to remember that I'm not playing it properly, as it were, or not playing it well. Double up, no good. I promise you, I was actually, is that that worth holding? No, I guess it isn't. I was better at this before. Again, I will just point to those long-term stats are going down now. It wasn't nearly 142%. Now it's at 136%. So yes, I'm doing dreadfully here. Not well at all. I should have held that one. No, not going. So what I'm going to do here is we'll just see if we can get it a couple more times. Well, maybe do that there. See if I can get it a couple more times. And then what I'm also going to try and do is do the whole play it down thing. Because it should be happy enough to give me a fairly decent succession of £4 repeaters. And if you can get the cash pot, I do remember that... Oh no, all the way to the top. What's that going to be? That's going to be 4 quid, isn't it? You absolute butt. On completely the wrong number. I haven't got a 5 or a 7. I don't know what does a 10 step to? 11. So just watch this, just to give you an idea of how much it totally blocks it when it can. That's what happens. So I'll get this set up again. We'll get another free win. And then we'll see if we can actually play it down. But I will just... Let's have a look. How far away is that? Oh, fucking miles away again. Let's just collect that. See if 4 and 6 are lit, which they're not. So this one is spaffed. Boink. All right, then I'll resume this when I've next got it set up. All right. This is a possibility, so I'm 5 nudges away. So hopefully this one will happen. I mean, the gamble should always win, as long as as long as you wouldn't be bringing something in range that's through the block, because the normal pot, as it were, is very happy. It should allow this to happen. Now I want 1, 3, 8, 12. Has to be 1, 3, 8, 12. No good. I'm now running out of space. Come on. Need it in the next 2 gambles, and 16 is often a dodgy one because it can often be something bigger. Oh, that was close, wasn't it? There we are. So at the last moment there, and then it's just step lower, free £6. Which, like I say, the stats aren't exactly flattering me at the moment, because what have I got in the bank? So 32 quid and I'm £36 in, so that's not great. But I did take £6 out before. But then again, this is a machine, lest we forget, this is a machine that's running at 136%. So you wouldn't expect it to be offering anything whatsoever now, would you? Now, this is interesting. It's offered me a super hold for £6. Now, does that mean that the streak is active? Oh shit, I should have fucking stepped that. I was on a 3. Now, does that come out That was very silly. I wasn't paying attention there at all. Now, does that mean that if it offers a natural £6 win, does that just come out the streak pot? I really don't know. I mean, I guess it's not actually streaking, but not sure. That was a slightly unexpected deviation there. Can't particularly explain that. That's no good. Anyway, we'll come back next time it's set up. Now, this is potentially potentially interesting in that now both of these swaps are lit. So if I lose, if I win this gamble down to a 5, there we are. Now I can get another 6 quid, because what I can do, and you need these 2 swaps lit, you can go swap number, swap over, swap number, lower, and then as you can see that you can swap back to 6 quid, and then you've got another £6 free win. I think we're just going to be hitting up towards the bank limit there. There we are. So let's see if we can get another one in the near future. Okay, here's another basic one. It's just the just going to be the 6 quid on this one, unfortunately. So it's the one that we've seen before. We just do that. Oh, hang on a minute. If I swap over, aren't I going to? Well, there we are. Yeah, jackpot. Okay, so it gave me the number that I could actually get the jackpot off. So we now collect that. Come on, up you go. Up you go. Oh. Well, what's that then? I guess that counts the same as a jackpot, does it? I'm not sure. I would normally take the jackpot off that, so we'll see what this one does. How far is it going to go? I guess it counts the same. It comes out the street pot just the same, or whatever. Hopefully it doesn't make too much difference. So we're nosing against the bank limit there because it's auto collecting. Is it going to repeat again? That would be nice. No, it's not going to repeat again. Okay, so it's just in fact, you know what? Let's start doing the whole play it down thing, because theoretically that is what you're supposed to do. Once you've banked up a fair amount of free wins, the idea is then that you've effectively got a large amount of normal wins in the bank, as it were, because the machine up to now, this machine has not paid out a penny. Even though I'm at the bank limit there, it doesn't think I've won anything, so it should now be very, very happy to give me a load of wins. So that's what we'll do now. We'll play it down and see how much I can actually take out of it, and that will then of course be, well, that will hopefully represent an amount of profit for the session. The thing that I'd really like to snag is the cash pot, because that can repeat twice, but I'm not quite sure what the way of getting the cash pot to come in actually is. I have had it. I do remember getting it when I did this machine in the emulator all those years ago, but I can't really remember because it likes to repeat twice. That's the thing. The cash pot does like to repeat twice, so we're obviously going to get to. Oh, that's got potential. Yeah, there we are. So now we can go. And that's another 6 quid. We'll have that. Okay, I am now just going to see how much I can take out of this. That's a nice big fat bank there, isn't it? Oh, very nice. Okay, I just had to collect that, because if I had gambled for 16, I was on 10 nudges, and if I'd have gambled for 16, it would have actually brought, it wouldn't have gambled because it would have been for the jackpot, which you can see just above the reels there. So I'm just going to collect another 4 quid and see if the cash run goes on, which it may do, because by all accounts this machine should be in a fairly good mood. But it hasn't gone on that. Just play for the next win. Right, so just another 4 quid there. All adds up though. I don't know how a proper player would have done this back in the day. If like the free wins are just kind of almost like what bleh. Fucking hell, put my teeth in there. The free wins were almost like what you would pay to play the machine, and then when you were playing it down, you know, all these wins now, of course, all these £4 and all that are cash, whereas all the free wins, all the £6 and £8 wins would be tokens. which have got a, well, I mean, there would be another machine in the pub, or you could spend it at the bar or whatever. But I guess maybe the idea would be that the tokens were your kind of playing funds, and then the cash that you took out of it, all these £4 repeats and all the rest of it, maybe they were like the cash profit that would actually go in your pocket. Like I say, I don't know, because I never ever had the first idea about these things at the time. So we're only 4 nudges away now from blue 7s. So we're just after that 1, 3, 8, 12. Same thing again. I guess you would just, if you could get more free wins out of it, I guess you would take them. Oh, come on. 1, 3, 8, 12. Please! There is a risk that if there's a juicier win up there, because it will still lose if I'm trying to nudge in £6 or jackpot. That'll do. There we are. So I'll just take the £6. That's fine. Yeah. Okay. Now can't I just? I think I can just do that now, can't I? Yeah. Of course. Okay. Wow. It just doesn't seem to see that one coming at all, does it? I'll collect that. Oh! 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 That was well, I guess. Okay, I missed out on £2 there, but that was very poor, wasn't it? Not to worry. It's another £6. Well, we do have some potential here. We're only 3 nudges away for blue 7s. There's the 8. Now I'm going to be greedy and see if I can get a 1 or a 12 here. Not sure if that's what you're supposed to do, but it seems to me that I can have... okay. For the sake of an extra £2, I guess you'd just play safe, would you? I don't know. And there's always the possibility that it can give you a good... No, it hasn't given me the good number there, so... I'm just going to collect on that. It's another £6. Just a straight £4 collect there. I mean, any cash win, I think, is pretty much going to gamble up to the £4 plus cash run. Because as far as I can see, the machine is still in a fairly happy mood, even though I am now taking wins that will be sort of be coming out of the current play pot. I'll collect the bank out shortly. I think we've seen what the idea is on this one. And you can see there, even now, before I collect the bank out... So where's that going? Oh, that was bad. Before I even collect the bank out... Oh, there we are. Now, how's it going to fuck me off here? It's going to have to just... Oh! Oh! So, you know what's going to happen here, don't you? Yes, thank you very much. Even before I even collect the bank out, I've got more out than I've put in. So, ooh, I'll have that. So, obviously, it's going to be a decent profit. But, oh, fuck off. And lest we forget that as usual, I've played this really, really badly. I'm sure I'm sure a better player than me would have made a far better... Oh, that's obviously not going to do anything, is it? I wonder if it'll stop before 1 nudge. Yes, there's a surprise. Thank you very much. And where's the... Oh, okay, that's a possibility. What's that? 4, 5 nudges, I think, is it? One more, I think, required, and then we just want that 1, 3, 8, 12. Oh, there we are, and that should be the jackpot, assuming that I don't fuck lucky for some up again. So we've got a guaranteed jackpot, and there we are. The only way you can mug you off, I think, there is if you get a 6. If you get a 6, you've got to collect, but if you get the 5, I think it always goes to a 5, 6 or 7, and as long as it's not the 6, then you can swap over and exchange. So there we actually bloody well hit it this time. So that's another jackpot. So I think it's very, very apparent now that this machine is just all kinds of messed up. You can look at, I mean, I've got, what, 10, 20, 30, 40, nearly 50 quid in the bank there. And I've already got more out than I put in. So, yeah, I guess people were absolutely making out like bandits on this thing back in the day. Okay, and that's straight back available again. I just need those numbers. Any of those numbers. 1, 3, 8, 12, please. Although I guess you could just collect at this point. Rather than risking the gambles, you could just collect. Collect the £4 plus repeat, because I'm just trying to play it down at this point, so I'll do that. And obviously we're certainly not going to gamble on a 3. It's nice to see it bouncing off the bank limit there. So yeah, any cash when he's gambling readily to £4. I think I'll collect down now. We've done fairly well. I think we've very much grasped what's going on here. So I'll collect that bank out and then see what the final stats are. So it bears repeating here that even an absolute hopeless, bumbling fucking amateur like me has managed to make a decent wedge of cash on this thing. So, you know, with a competent player at the helm, I'm sure there was far more money than this to be made. And that's another free one, isn't it? There we are, just straight in like that. Just can't quite help myself. Oh, there we are. That should be another jackpot. Just unbelievable, isn't it? And oh, hang on. What? No. Oh, fuck. Don't matter. I fucked that up. Sorry. My fault. Pressed the wrong button again. Don't matter. We're just... And I think the idea was that out in the wild that you would play this thing down until it was pretty much on its arse. So that you take all the value out of it before you left. And then leave it for me to come along and fill it up. There we are. It's as you can see, it's all over the place, this machine. It has no idea what's going on. I don't know if that's free one or not. As I understand it, it's only £6 and lucky for some that are actually free. So it may well be that feature's coming out of the actual pot. So it knows it's done it, but it's certainly repeating a lot. Oh my word. It's just gone for a few quid this, hasn't it? I'd like to say I knew how much it had gone for, but I'm not really adding up. Okay, and auto payout again, and another repeat. You know what, maybe if that does come out of the current pot, because it looks to me like, is this doing repeats in cash amounts? Maybe that's a good way to play it down, because it can just, yeah, it's paying out quids now. So maybe that's a good way to play it down, a feature like that, where it can just repeat as many times as it wants to. Oh! What have we got there? So, I mean, that'll gamble. I imagine that'll gamble to the £4 plus repeat chance, or the cash run thing as it is. Yeah, we'll have that. Thank you very much. Poor thing. But this does come into what I was saying before, where you would have to be mindful of how much money the machine actually held, because these things only had a finite amount of cash in them. I guess these were in the tube days, so there would only be a certain amount of money in the tube. So you've got your token tube, or your token tubes, and you've got your cash tubes. So there's a limit to how much you're going to be able to take out of it. I'm pretty sure this will gamble up to £4. Maybe that was how you knew that it was dead, when it stopped gambling up to £4 plus cash run, or it was killing you down at £2 or whatever. Okay, yeah, it's at it now. I'll move on. But yeah, as you can see, it's readily gambling out. The only thing I wish I could remember is how you get that cash pot out. I can't remember how you get the cash pot out. And again, because there are only so many tokens in it, you would actually stop trying to go for the free wins at some point, because you knew the machine hardly had any tokens left in it. So you'd actually start taking the £4 plus repeat over the free token wins, because you just knew the machine didn't have enough tokens in it to pay them. Although I guess you could put tokens back in to get more credits. And there we are, another £4. So yeah, this has gone crazy, this thing, hasn't it? Even I can win on this. Oh, and it's gone past again. I don't know why it doesn't go... Why does it just keep going back to the start? It would look better if it just filled up the whole trail, wouldn't it? So I guess that's going to do another £4. Bless it. It didn't deserve this. Poor Super Pots. Well, shall we just collect that? But you know, I think we all fully understand what's going on there. So let's collect that out and see what are the scores. Georgie Doors. Let's see what we've got, because there's a lot of money come out of that thing, and it's made its long-term stats look even uglier than they already were, and that's saying something because the long-term stats were already pretty ugly. So let's go to profit and loss. So this is on this session, and that's got a while to catch up yet. So there we are. The numbers speak for themselves. We just look at the stats up here. And what are the long-term stats like? They're going to be quite shocking as well. So long-term stats. Oh my word, is it going to hit 150%? I think it might just. My goodness me. So this machine, from its factory reset, it's taken £741 and it's paid out 1,100, just shy of 1,120 quid. It's running at 151% from a target of, I believe, 80. And on my current session, I've achieved a payout of 246%, £89.40 profit. I think that might be a little bit unrealistic out in the wild, because I'm not sure how much money these things held in the tubes. But that's Super Pots. It's kind of like a microcosm of the whole Maygay thing, where, and I'm only repeating this later on because like I said, I didn't know at the time, but the whole thing with Maygays, if you could get wins that were not supposed, that were illegal in normal play, get them out the street pot, and once you found the way to do it, this one is one of the more simple ones, I believe. Once you found a way to do it, well, you can see what happens there. It's pretty much a license to print money. A license that I never possessed at the time, but nonetheless, it's very, very fun to do in the emulator and see what once was. And you know what? To all the guys who were doing these things at the time, kudos to you. I hope you made some good money, because I would have done exactly the same bloody thing if I'd have known about it. So, hope you've enjoyed this video. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you next time.